You're watching Iowa Live. Everything local, entertaining, and meaningful in Central Iowa is right here on Iowa Live.
From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, and this guy standing next to me, Michael Swanger, publisher of the Iowa History Journal, signifies that a new edition must be out, Michael.
Smells like fresh ink and paper around here, doesn't it? Good to see you,
It does.
Lou.
It smells like the latest edition of the Iowa History Journal has hit the shelves. And boy, we have some great content in this magazine.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're going to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II with Japan coming up in August.
Okay.
And so we would be remiss if we didn't touch on Iowa State's contributions to creating the atomic bomb that helped end the war. I think folks who saw the movie Oppenheimer may have been familiar with some of the work that took place in Ames, but we really wanted to go in depth on this, and we wanted to wait until this anniversary to do it. And so Jerry Harrington wrote a great story about all the work that took place on the campus at Iowa State College, this is before it was university, to help develop about 2 million pounds of pure uranium to help build the bombs to help end the war.
And this was called the Ames Project.
It was called the
Yeah.
Ames Project.
Yeah.
That's right. Part of the Manhattan Project. There were around 31 sites in the U.S., U.K., Canada. Ames was one of them. But it was the first and most instrumental step because without the uranium, the rest of the process would not have occurred.
Wow.
So the scientists there in the chemistry department were working on it in the chemistry building while there were students there. They had the top floor all to themselves.
Wow.
And then they later moved into another building called the Popcorn Building. It looks like a house on the east end of campus, and it was known as Little Ankeny.
Wow.
And there's a picture of one of the engineers working on uranium and extracting it from natural compounds.
I remember the first time we heard about the Ames Project being right down the street from where we were living is
Yes.
where it all happened, and it kind of gave you chills when you think about it.
It's amazing to think, that it took place right here. And the work that they did. And they were also recognized by the Army and Navy with the rare E flag. It's an excellence flag, which is very rare for a university to get it. They were awarded that in 1945 for the work that they did to contribute to the Manhattan Project. And they did this from 1942 to 1946 when the work wrapped up with processing uranium for the war effort. Then it became the Ames Laboratory, which is now part of the government's atomic energy program.
Fascinating story. It's the cover story inside the July-August edition of the Iowa History Journal. And I love your attire. The Chicago White Sox uniform.
I got dressed up for you today.
You look great.
Well, it's baseball season, and we have to talk about baseball. It's the greatest game on dirt. We usually publish a story about baseball in our July-August issue. We wanted to dive into the roots of Charles A. Comiskey, the founding owner of the White Sox. That team is celebrating its 125th anniversary this year. Yes, full disclosure, I am a diehard White Sox fan. That's not the reason we're published the story, though. But Comiskey's roots, I don't think very many people know about. He was born in Chicago. He moved to Dubuque in 1878 to become a baseball player.
Oh, okay.
So he went to work for a friend there at a news agency and played baseball. And here's what's really cool about Comiskey's time as a baseball player, Lou. I don't think very many people know this. He played first base. At that time, all first basemen kept a foot on the bag, almost like they're holding a runner on or trying to stretch for the out. Well, he really kind of invented the position by moving off the bag. He was the first baseman to do that. He thought it was better to play off the bag. So every time you're watching a game today and you see a first baseman off the bag, it was because of what he did in the field.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either until John Pregler, the historian in Dubuque who wrote the story for us, mentioned that.
All right.
And then he moved on and became a player, a manager in MLB, and then founded the White Sox, and the rest is history.
I also want to make sure we touch on something else that is pretty cool. An award that was given out for one of your articles.
Yes, Bill Fredericks, who wrote our cover story last July, August about Holocaust survivor
we talked about that,
Benitez.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah, he picked up a certificate of recognition for the Mills Noun Award last week at the Iowa Excellence in History Awards from the State Historical Society of Iowa's Board of Trustees. So very happy for Bill, but really happy for our readers because it just continues to kind of validate the work that we're doing. And so I'm always happy not only for the people who put the work in like Bill, but our readers as well, because they're getting what I think to be quality content at a really good price.
Yeah, and if people want to get more information about what is inside of the Iowa History Journal, yeah, look at this here. We're talking $20 a year, and it comes out every couple of months. If you know somebody that lives away from Iowa, this is really a way to keep them in touch.
Absolutely. We have readers in just about every state, so it's a great gift.
All right. If people want more information, what's the easiest place they can go?
IowaHistoryJournal.com.
We can do that. So great addition again there, Michael Swanger. Great job, sir.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you very much. Well, the tradition continues. The Good Guys Rod and Custom Association Heartland Nationals Car Show is back at the fairgrounds this weekend. All the details coming up.